Hey everybody, welcome back to week number 3. Third upload. Well, technically fourth if you want to count the actual full upload of the Space Center Houston commercial that I went ahead and did last week as the third video. This would be the fourth. So I guess we're doing some Doctor Who math. I'm going to call this the third video. Welcome to the third video. Or as I'm going to call it, Woody takes you on the nickel tour of his loft. So last week we watched the commercial, and I also in the description mentioned that I was going to teach you how to beat Minesweeper. Here's how I beat Minesweeper. I don't play it, but here's a clip of me trying to beat it. Okay, Minesweeper, here we go. Good start. Still in the game. All right. Ding! Try again. Okay, nice. Try again. Ooh, nice. Okay. Okay. Careful. Don't wanna. Dang it, I did it again. Let's try one more time. I suck, don't I? Yeah, I suck at mine. I have never beaten it. I've been playing it since Windows 3.1, have never beaten it. So, don't take my advice on how to beat really any game. I don't do well at games. So there's the Minesweeper gag. So a little bit extra information from last week. So Space Center Houston, that was not the only commercial that I did. I did several others, including one for Amtrak, which is a train company, a passenger train company here in the U.S. Well, Amtrak came to Austin to film a commercial at our park here in Austin called Zilker Park. Now there's a little, not toy train, but little kind of faux passenger train type of thing. You know, it's kind of for fun. It goes around the park. Since 1996, it's been known as the Zilker Zephyr. I can't remember what it was called prior to that, but anyway, long story short, too late. That train, one set was an Amtrak set, and the only one in the country. So Amtrak came here to Austin to film that, and I was in that commercial. That was the very first one that I was in. That was 1985, or not 85, 1989, excuse me. Or maybe 1990, but I want to say it was 1989. So they came down, filmed it, had a lot of fun. So Mrs. Woody has reached out to Amtrak's marketing to see if perchance they have that commercial. They have not gotten back in touch with her yet. You know, worst case scenario, we never hear back from them. Best case scenario, obviously they have it and they're able to find it and get it to us. If best case scenario happens, we will do a repeat of that, and so I guess maybe a 2-part series of world premiere of my Amtrak commercial. Now, I was not the lead in that, so it'll be a little different, but it'll still be fun to have that up here. We've never been able to find it. on the internet. So, and Mrs. Woody looked through several different YouTube compilations and other compilations of Amtrak ads from that era and hasn't been able to find it. So, who knows? Maybe we will strike gold. I will keep you updated on that. Certainly check our Facebook group. The link is always in the video description. The C64 Woody's Forest Facebook group. Check the link in the description. Come join us. We have a lot of fun. That's where you'll be updated on the latest uploads. If you don't ring the notification bell, which ring the notification bell. So, moving forward. Today, I promised you a tour of the Loft and a couple of stories as to why I love retro tech. Well, let's get into the tour right now. So this is a painting from the play Harvey I did in high school. It hangs in our stairwell here at the house. That is an Ethernet cable that I use for work. Here we go up the stairs. By the way, the song is the accompaniment track for The Cutting Edge from The Brave Little Toaster. And here we are, the Loft. My computer there is what I use for work with the big monitor and the laptop right next to it. But the one with the bowling ball is my ThinkPad T400. Don't worry, we will get a close look at everything. So once again, there's the ThinkPad T400 that I got from Computer Reset. I won a raffle there almost a year ago for someone to go in and do a proxy shop for me. I will link Lazy Game Review's video in the description. I am a man of faith. I was raised Baptist, but I am currently an Anglican, and my wife and I's liturgy for our wedding came from the Church of Ireland's Book of Common Prayer, which I have there. Excuse me. Now that radio is not actually an old-timey radio. It's meant to look like one. It was a gift from my mother-in-law. Her boss had given it to her. She didn't have a use for it, and she knew that I loved things retro and things that looked retro, so she gave it to me. It does work. By the way, that is a picture of my aunt who passed away a few years ago, and a family Bible. And that is my piano keyboard. I do play. You will hear that eventually. Hopefully in this video. That bag I actually got in Las Vegas when I went for the Star Trek convention back in 2016. And here is my manual typewriter, my Royal Deluxe, named Chester after one of my favorite authors, G.K. Chesterton. It does work. There's another picture of my aunt. Look at all the Commodore software collection here. Yes, that is one of my two data sets. I have two. Oh, you might have seen the other one in the background. Joysticks, software. Yes, I do have a copy of Geos. Here's Chester again. And, oh, here we go. A couple of other things down below that I don't use that CRT anymore, but I guess I just felt like showing all the stuff that's under there. And here is the star of the channel, where the channel gets its name. This is Clint. It is the Commodore 64, or C64, with the wood grain veneers, or Woody. It is a C64 Woody named Clint after LGR, Lazy Game Reviews. Obviously, he works. I will put a picture here later of that, of when I first got him, how he looked. That power supply is from Commodore Forever. And there's Star Trek 25th Anniversary on the Amiga 1200, and there's the Amiga 1200 in all of her beauty. I bought her recently off of a Catholic priest, and so I will talk about her name here in a minute. Not the name of the priest, the name of the computer. Here's the microphone into which I'm talking. My Retro Man Cave calendar. And once again, I upload every single Friday, so that's why I'm going down the Friday there. That's the light which makes me look pretty. And my iMac. So there we go. So there's my loft. It's huge, huge. Yeah, that's the dime tour, or the nickel tour. So why do I love vintage tech? Since I have plenty of it. Well, one reason, there's a whole process to doing anything, a whole liturgy to doing anything on these old machines. To do anything on my Royale on Chester, my typewriter on Chester, I have to get paper, make sure that the ribbon is in good shape, get paper, feed it in, and type. If I make a mistake, there's no backspace. I mean, there is, but there's no delete button. I have to get the white out. Then and it's still not going to look good. You might as well and put another piece of paper and start over. There's a process to doing anything. On the Commodore 64, what I do is I turn on the power brick from Commodore Forever. Link in the description. Makes great power supplies, among other things. Turn that on. Pull out the disc that I want to put on the Commodore and use. Say it's the game Commando. Put it in the floppy drive, lock the drive, turn on the drive, turn on Clint, turn on the monitor, and type in the load command to tell it to look for the file. It finds the file. Do you want to run the file? Yes, I want to run the file. I have to tell it to do that. And then I have to wait for the game to load. There's a process. There's a liturgy. Even with this 1541 Ultimate 2 Plus, there's still a process. Yes, I can load stuff off of a USB stick, and a lot more disk images can fit on a USB stick. So I can do that, and it fits into the cartridge port. Cable from here to the serial port on the 64. But it's still a process. I still have to type in the commands. Or I use the menus that are on here and scroll down. There's still a process. Same with my Amiga 1200 named Isadora, after Saint Isidore, the patron saint of computers and the internet. Bought it off of a Catholic priest. Feminine name of Amiga. Figured I should give it a feminine Catholic name. So, same type of situation. There's a whole process to booting anything up. Not as long a process, but still a process. So that's yet another reason why I love vintage tech. The song you're hearing underneath this segment currently is the song Worthless, also from the Brave Little Toaster. And as you can tell, why is it called Worthless and why was it in a kids movie? There's a reason that movie traumatized us kids. As I'm talking about this, the song is wrapping up, or has wrapped up just now. But yeah, it's these, you're in a junkyard and these cars, these anthropomorphic cars, are singing about their impending death and the life that they've led. I drove a Texan to a wedding. I ran the Indy 500. I served the Indian Nation. And by the end of it, the truck that served on the reservation. Instead of waiting for the magnet to come pick him up to take him to the crusher, he drives onto the conveyor belt. This was a kids' movie. I want to point out, it's a cartoon. Disney. Just saying. Anyway, that song made an impression on me even as a kid. Well, years later, as an adult, now I'm living that out to a certain degree, giving these computers a new lease on life so they don't feel worthless. I don't want anything to feel worthless. I don't want anyone to feel worthless. By the way, if you feel worthless, reach out, get help. You are not worthless. You are not alone. Okay, that being said, one final reason why I love vintage tech, and it's a little closer to home. I'm going to take a sip. My grandfather was from Massachusetts. He moved to Texas in 1979 and got a job at the Motorola plant here in Austin. In 1979, around the same time that they were contracting with Tandy Radio Shack to build the chips exclusively, and to be the exclusive provider of the chips for the Tandy Radio Shack TRS-80 color computer Mark I, or the Coco 1. My grandfather got the job there as a chip tester, and then he married my grandmother, who was a widower, so not blood related to me, my grandfather, but still, I came along a few years later. And he and I were really close. Well, when I started kind of delving into and exploring the world of retro technology, retro computers, all of that, I looked up the Tandy radio. I saw a video about the TRS-80 Coco. And I looked it up. Looked up the history of it. And realized, oh my gosh, Herb may have either worked on it or knew someone who did, because it came out in 1980. Unfortunately, I was not able to ask him, as this was a couple of years ago and he passed away in 2004. But again, he and I were really close, so I delved even more into this as a way to reconnect with Herb, with my grandfather. And the Commodore user group that I meet with here in Austin, in North Austin, when I'm there, I kind of feel like Herb's there too. Like, these are his people. He was still older than most of the guys that show up at that, but still, he would understand these people, and so in some way they're my people as well. And it's a way for me to connect with Herb, even this long after his passing. So that is that. So what is coming up next week on the channel? Well, another video next Friday. Good night, everybody. But But no, it'll be a kind of an exploration of a fan theory that I've been kicking around for Star Trek. Mrs. Woody actually planted the seed for this idea. Thank you, honey. But yeah, we're going to kind of explore the whole concept of the prime timeline versus non-prime timeline. So if you're not a Trekkie and you don't care, I won't be offended if you skip. But I'll know. No, I'm kidding. I won't know. But if you find me entertaining and you still don't care, come on by anyway. So that's what we will be doing next week. We will delve into that. I'll have a whole PowerPoint. No, kidding. Maybe. And I wanted to figure out something to play on the piano, and I still might as our going out. But I will try to do that next week, since, in fact, I am guaranteeing you that I will play something next week on the piano, since we are doing a Star Trek fan theory week. I will play something Trekkie-ish on the piano next week. You have my word. So like, comment, share, and subscribe down below. Tell me why you love vintage tech. Tell me why you think I'm a nut job for liking vintage tech. Tell me if there's something that you love like this and why you love it. And in fact, while you're in the comments section, in the description of the video, there's a link to the Facebook group. Join the Facebook group. Come on in. We have fun. We love new people. Come into the forest. We have cookies. But yeah, come on in and let's talk. Let's build a community and talk about why we love the things that we love, and why we are connected to it. And sure, if you're a Star Trek fan or a Star Wars fan or a sports fan even. I'm not a sports guy, but hey, I get fandoms. I'm a geek. I respect fandom. So come on into the Facebook group. Let's keep the conversation going there. Comment in the comment section. That's where you leave comments. Tell me why I'm nuts. Tell me why you love what you love. Whatever it is, let's have a conversation. Let's keep going. So someone asked in the comments last week when to expect me selling my bathwater. If I can get this video to 100 likes, I will sell my gunked up bathwater with, it'll be disgusting. So, but still, no, of course I'm kidding about the bathwater thing, but hey, let's get the video to some likes. Like, comment, share, and subscribe once again, and I will see you next week.